Hey everybody, Brian Von Vie here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories. Today we've got a doozy. What characters have you created but never used, and why? Part 1. I was the group's forever DM for almost a decade, so I have tons of characters that I have created but never played as a PC. I've pulled some to be NPCs in campaigns, but that doesn't feel the same. One that I'm waiting to use is Guy Fleegman, a human true namer. I am more excited about the mechanical side to him than the actual character and backstory. He is the result of about 2 weeks of tinkering with the most broken and barely functional class in 3.5. Mechanically, he isn't a heavy hitter in combat, and doesn't have a ton to offer in terms of out-of-combat utility. However, the fact that I managed to take a class that is widely considered to be the worst in the edition and brought it up to the power level of the characters the rest of my group plays is nice. If I could get this to work, I can make anything work. Also, the name is reference to what I expect to happen if I ever get to play him. Lots of screaming, confusion, and a lot of lucky survival. Vore Mimin, also known as the Silver Hand. He's a figure of elven legend, a ghost, a boogeyman, if you will. No one knows if he truly exists, because legend has it only time you ever encounter him is moments before your impending death. He's what parents warn their little elven kiddos about when they misbehave. If you don't straighten up, the Silver Hand will come for you. He has no memory of his actual name. He was chosen by the god of elves, Corellian Larethian, to be the destroyer of the most vile and evil elves. He moves in shadow, unseen by his mark, until the very moment the arrow of their demise pierces their heart. Vore is a homebrew subclass of ranger called Shadow Hunter. It's a modified version of Gloomstalker built around an extremely high first attack damage. If Vore gets a chance to position himself before combat starts and remains in shadow for at least one round, his body becomes a shadowy mist that is nearly undetectable. Perception checks against his stealth are at disadvantage, and he gets advantage on his stealth checks. While in this form, so long as he does not move more than 5 feet per round or move out of the shadows, he remains hidden. Additionally, if his first attack from this form hits, it automatically does triple maximum damage. After that, he drops out of the shadow form and gets to make one additional attack above his normal number of attacks per turn. However, all attacks during this special attack must be made at the target of the first attack, meaning that if the target were to die after the initial attack, Vore can make no additional attacks that turn. I made this character to play in a friend's campaign after my character either died or retired, but decided against having him as my backup when the campaign went down a different path than I expected. I will likely never play this character, and that's okay with me. The concept is likely cooler than I could live up to as a player. I have several character concepts that I have written down on paper, but never made into a real character. Also, note that many of these are going to be based on other characters from books and movies. My first one on the list is a Warforged bard named Groovebot, who will play battle music every time he enters a fight and does the robot dance at every bar. Is that a reference to Chrono Trigger a little bit? My second one on this list is a warlock who was cursed with wild magic that makes him fade in and out of reality and always wears brightly colored striped clothes to help people spot him. His name is Waldo. That got me. The next one on my list is a stranger one that is meant to be a joke for my brothers if I ever play it. I am going to homebrew the skeleton race. As the DM, I have ultimate power. And I'm going to name him Mr. Bones. He will be a bard who uses his own ribs like a xylophone as his instrument. Going off of the last idea, I will homebrew the skeleton race, but I will have my character 4 arms. He was once a general of a great skeleton army led by an evil wizard with telepathic powers, and he loves to collect magic or enchanted swords. He wears a red and black cape and swears vengeance on another general who beat him named General Kenobi. If you can tell, I'm basically making General Grievous from Star Wars. My next character concept is a human swashbuckler pirate captain who has a serious drinking problem, but somehow makes the most daring plans and escapes anyone has ever seen. I will be making Captain Jack Sparrow. Oh. Then there are some honorable mentions. A warlock with just a normal god. By that I mean he will have a normal god. No demon daddy or evil McEvilface. An ogre whose name is Shrek. A bard mime who only uses invisible weapons, and a chaotic evil warforged whose name is Ultron, who wants to eradicate all of humanity. Now, here's my last one. A traitor. That's it. Just a normal tradesman who the party abducted, but then found out that he is pretty good with improvised weapons. Hope you liked my character ideas. I sure do. Xander Crosswind Gravebell. A tiefling twilight druid / grave cleric / ancient oath paladin. He's specialized in aiding restless spirits, aiding them in completing unfinished business so they may pass on to the next life. Highly adept with a staff and blade combo, he held a preference for wind magic, hence his nickname. For all his goodwill and desire to help the spirits of the departed, Xander is not the brightest, despite his good reputation as a man willing to help anyone and everyone. Hell, one of the reasons he amassed such a reputation is because he forgot divine sense was a thing he could use and kept mistakenly thinking the people he was helping were spirits. He was meant to be used in a level 20 one-shot, but we never got around to it. Theodosia. A neutral good tiefling sorceress. Skin as black as coal, bright curly purple hair always in pigtails. Somehow, the slightest hint of pink seeps through the black on her cheeks. Her horns are more antlers than horns. She is 3'9", super sweet, just lives her life. A freaking prodigy with magic, and trained on how to properly use magic since before she could talk. Even though she's a sorceress, she always had to wear leather armor, but she paints flowers and bunnies and other adorable patterns on her armor to make them prettier. Skips ahead of everyone else picking pretty flowers. Sometimes she'll put them in her hair or her horns. Her favorite spell is Silent Image because she loves seeing people's faces when a random object, person, or animal appears in their path. She's innocent, but doesn't always know better. Innocent, but loves innocently fucking with people. Never cusses though, because those are bad words. No. Oh yeah, and she's 6 years old. DMs recommend not using her for obvious reasons. Guess she'll just be an NPC when they finally let me DM. I have an idea for someone who will probably be an NPC or DMPC, but I think it's pretty cool. Sollan and Luna were twin boys born to a noble couple. Sollan has blonde hair and blue eyes, while Luna has black hair and green eyes. But other than that, they were identical. Their parents wanted a perfect heir, and so raised Sollan, the firstborn by a matter of minutes, to be intelligent and charismatic. His other stats aren't great, but he can speak dozens of languages, play several instruments, is good at research, and has excellent memory. These are all things his parents insisted he learn. They never physically hit him, but would do things like verbally berate him or deny him food until he finished something. Then there was Luna. With the heir they wanted secure, the parents turned to his protection. They made sure Sollan and Luna spent a lot of time together when they were really young, before they decided Luna was old enough to train. He had a rigorous program that made sure he would be strong, agile, tough, and skilled in most weapons. This makes him a high-level fighter with good strength, dexterity, and constitution scores, plus a half-decent wisdom stat. His intelligence isn't great, however, and his charisma is abysmal. Part of his program was to make him distrustful of almost everyone, as well as protective of Sollan. These parts worked out a little too well, with Luna becoming more and more suspicious of his parents for how they treat Sollan. He also comes off as moody, and is very slow to open up. In addition, whenever he didn't meet expectations or acted out, he would be severely punished. This, combined with the frequent fights with real weapons, resulted in a large number of scars, including a small one on his right cheek and many large ones on his back. Things got worse when their parents decided to try for a daughter. They figured a daughter would make alliances easier. Ciela was born when the boys were 13. The parents were happy to discover little Ciela had Sollan's beautiful blonde hair and blue eyes. They planned to use a program similar to Sollan's, except the end result would be a cultured young lady any man would kill to marry. But their plan ran into some trouble early on. Sollan adored his little sister, and Luna was just as willing to protect her. As Ciela grew and the parents started conditioning her, Luna fought back, and Sollan took his side. This came to a head when Ciela was 6 and the boys were 19. The parents ended up sending Sollan and Luna to a powerful wizard who was to combine the two and make a new son using them, who would have Sollan's looks and brains but Luna's skills, as well as total loyalty to the parents. The wizard thought he could do this, but the spell he needed to use required willing subjects. The boys played along and pretended to be in agreement with the wizard before fighting against the spell at the last minute. The spell did not work properly, resulting in the two boys sharing a body that switched between their characteristics and a third entity. Their new shared body changes to look like whomever is currently controlling it. This means when Sollan is active, the body has blue eyes and blonde hair with flawless skin, but muscles, green eyes, black hair, and scars when Luna is active. The inactive twin can see, feel, hear, etc., everything the active one does, but can't move. The active and inactive twin can carry full mental conversations with each other, regardless of who is controlling the body. They can also switch at will. If they fight over control, the one with the stronger conviction wins. If it's a close fight, the body is racked with pain. Luna is often the victor, but they rarely fight. The third entity is Astraeo. Astraeo was supposed to be the intended outcome of the wizard's spell, but didn't become what the wizard was going for. He has the fighting prowess of Luna and the knowledge of Sollan, but is cruel to almost everyone except Ciela and his roommates/bodymates, especially his parents and the wizard. He is the embodiment of Sollan and Luna's rage and desire for vengeance. Astraeo has a body with no scars, teal eyes, and brown hair. He is completely separate from Sollan and Luna and is only able to contact them through notes. Astraeo is very strong and can create blasts of energy as ranged attacks, or to propel him in an attack or movement. However, when it comes to controlling the body, he is the weakest by far. Sollan and Luna both must be in agreement to relinquish control for him to take it. When not in control of the body, Astraeo is in a dormant state. Sollan and Luna are in this dormant state when he is control. While dormant, the dormant party is only aware of what is happening in the outside world via strong emotions felt by a member of the non-dormant party. While dormant, Sollan and Luna can still converse. Astraeo is alone while dormant, but he spends most of his time in that state. He is okay with this because he knows his actions tend to frighten Ciela. I plan to introduce them further along in a campaign that hasn't gotten past Session 0 Part 1, and will definitely need a Part 2. I want to give them a plot hook involving the parents that ends with them receiving payment in their palace and at least one of them running into naive Ciela, who will ask them to help her find her brothers. If they accept, this will become a prison break mission while avoiding the wizard. The wizard will become a future big bad evil guy. Brian Von VA here, checking in after the video. If you like today's stories, then please leave a like, sub if you haven't, and ring the bell for future notifications. If you'd like to submit a story of your own, check out our subreddit r/MrRipper, and if you want to find a group to play with, check out our Group Finder Discord. Links are in the description below. If you use your help action, then you can come find me over on YouTube, Twitter, and sometimes TikTok under the name Brian Von VA, where I voice your D&D characters, make voice acting vids, and stream games too. I just want you to with that said, I always try to end on a positive, and today is no different. I want to just say I'm proud of all of you. We all make mistakes as humans, and we're always going to. It's just a fact of life. None of us are perfect, but we don't have to be. Every day we're going to learn something new from all of our mistakes, be it something small or something large, and we're going to better ourselves in the future. Even if you're struggling to breathe, struggling to wake up every day, I want you to know that you're still learning, still growing, and still evolving, and that I truly am proud of each and every one of you, and most of all, I'm glad that you get to see every sunrise. Trust me, better days are coming, so just keep holding on and never give up on yourselves, okay? All the love, we will see you later. Bye for now.